Good morning students. So in this session we will complete the remaining problems based on Bayes theorem. Let us see question number 10. Suppose a girl throws a die. If she gets a 5 or 6, she tosses a coin 3 times and notes the number of heads. If she gets 1, 2, 3 or 4, she tosses a coin once and notes whether a head or tail is obtained. Now if she obtained exactly one head, what is the probability that she threw 1, 2, 3 or 4 with the die? So girl is throwing a die. So let us simplify it first. Girl throws a die. This is the first experiment. Now when a girl is throwing a die, now it can result in either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the all possible outcomes. If she gets 5 or 6, so there are two cases here we have to take. If she gets 5 or 6, now what is she is doing? She tosses a coin 3 times. If she is getting 5 or 6, then what she is doing? She tosses a coin 3 times. This is the conditional experiment she is doing. If she gets 5 or 6 on the die, she is tossing a coin 3 times. Now tossing a coin 3 times means what will we get here? We will get 8 possible outcomes, H, 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 T and so on. So these are 8 outcomes. Next, and notes the number of heads in this. She is tossing 3 coins. In that 3 coins, what she is doing is she is noting the number of heads. If she gets 1, 2, 3 or 4 on the die, now die can result in 1, 2, 3, 4 also. If she is getting 1, 2, 3 or 4, then what she is doing? She tosses a coin once. Now here she is tossing a coin once. Now tossing a coin once means it may be head or tail. Now she notes that whether head or tail is obtained. So this is a conditional experiment she is doing. Tossing a die first. Now based on what result we get, we are tossing the coin here once, here it is 3 times. And what she is noting is, she is noting the number of heads. So here the number of heads, maybe it is 3 or 2 or 1 or 0. Here number of heads is either 1 or 0. That is total possible cases. Now what is we are interested here? If she obtained exactly one head, already we know that she obtained exactly one head. Now what is the probability that she threw 1, 2, 3 or 4? Already we know that she is obtaining exactly one head. Now where we can get that exactly one head? Either we can get here or we can get here also. Exactly one head we may get here or we may get here. So there are two possibilities. Now in that what we are interested? We are interested in this case where she threw 1, 2, 3, 4. Understanding? So common event, what is the common event here? Getting exactly one head is the common event which may occur in this case or it may occur in this case. And what are the two events we have to take? Getting 5 or 6 on the die, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 on the die. So these are the two events I can take, E1, E2. And we have to define the common event A, that is getting exactly one head. Exactly one head. Understand about this problem here? So let us define the two events first, E1, E2. In that whichever case we are interested, we have to find that probability. So this is also based on Bayes theorem. We are applying the reverse probability here. Let us define the events. Let E1 is the event of getting 5 or 6 on die. Next, E2 is the event of getting 1, 2, 3 or 4 on the die. Right? So these are the two events we are taking. And we can write the probability of these events here. What is probability of E1? Getting 5 or 6? Total there are 6 possibilities. In that, how many are in favor? Getting 5 or 6. 2 cases are in favor, which is 1 by 3. And probability of E2, again there are total 6 cases. In that, how many are in favor? Getting 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cases are in favor, which is 2 by 3. So probability of E1 we know, probability of E2 we know. Next, let us define the common event. Let A is the common event of getting exactly one head. Right? A is the event of getting exactly one head. Now, when we can get this exactly one head, we can get either in this case or also we can get in this case. So, what is the probability of getting exactly one head if the die is showing 5 or 6? Okay, so here we write probability of getting exactly one head. When the die resulted in 5 or 6. What is the notation I can add here? Probability that getting exactly one head when the die is resulted in 5 or 6 means already we know that die is giving 5 or 6. So, when we know that die is giving 5 or 6, now what we are doing here? We are tossing 3 coins. In that, what is the probability of getting exactly one head? What is the total number of outcomes here? 8. It is notation P of A given that E1 has occurred. Understand? Probability of A given that E1 is occurred. So, how can I write probability here? Total there are 8 outcomes. In that 8 outcomes, in how many cases we are getting exactly one head? Exactly one head will get in 3 cases, that is HTT, THT, TTH. So, in these 3 cases we are getting exactly one head. So, probability of getting exactly one head, it is given by 3 by 8 under first case. Next, probability of getting exactly one head when die resulted in 1, 2, 3 or 4. So, if the die is resulted in these numbers 1, 2, 3 or 4, now what we are doing? We are tossing the coin once. Now, when we are tossing the coin once, what is the probability of getting exactly one head? It is 1 by 2. So, notation P of A given E2, it is 1 out of the 2 cases. So, we know P of A given E1, P of A given E2. Now, here what we require? We require probability of, what is the probability that she threw 1, 2, 3 or 4? What already obtained? If she obtained exactly one head, so event A has already occurred. Now, what is the probability of she throws the numbers 1, 2, 3 or 4? So, probability of getting 1, 2, 3 or 4 on die if it is known that we get exactly one head. This is the probability we require. Probability of getting 1, 2, 3 or 4 on the die if it is known that we are getting exactly one head. So, she obtained already exactly one head. This is the event already occurred. Now, what is the chance that die resulted in 1, 2, 3 or 4? What is the notation I can write? P of A has already occurred. Now, what is the chance that it is occurred in E2? That is getting 1, 2, 3, 4 on die. So, we need P of E2 given A. So, how can you write P of E2 given A? By using Bayes theorem. So, by using Bayes theorem, P of E2 given A. You can write it. First we write total probability of occurrence of this event A. Okay, according to theorem of total probability, it may occur in E1 into P of A given E1, or it may occur in E2 into P of A given E2. So out of these two cases, which case we are interested in? Second case we are interested. So P of E2 into P of A given E2. So write this case in the numerator. Let us substitute P of E2 given A is equal to denominator P of E1. E1 probability is 1 by 3 into P of A given E1. A given E1 is 3 by 8 plus 2 by 3 into 1 by 2. So this case we need numerator 2 by 3 into 1 by 2. Simplify it. 1 by 3 we can take common in the numerator and denominator. 1 by 3 common means 2 cancelled here, remaining 1. 1 by 3 is common. So 1 by 3 common means remaining 3 by 8 here. 2 cancelled, 1 here. So 1 by 3 cancelled. So answer will be 8 by 11. Right, taking LCM 8 here, 8 will go to numerator. So 8 by 3 plus 8, which is 8 by 11. Understand method of solving? So clearly we have to understand that what are the two events, E1, E2. It may be 3 events. Now in this case it is only 2 events, E1, E2. Now in that, what is the common event, okay, which can happen in either E1 or E2. So write the conditional probabilities, then using Bayes theorem we can solve this. Understand? Let us see the next question. Question number 11. A manufacturer has 3 machine operators A, B and C. The first operator A produces 1% of defective items, whereas the other 2 operators B and C produce 5% and 7% of defective items respectively. A is on the job for 50% of time, B is on the job for 30% of time and C is on the job for 20% of time. A defective item is produced. Now what is the probability that it was produced by the operator A? So here there are problems based on percentages. Okay. So whenever percentages are given, it is nothing but 5% means it is nothing but 5 by 100. Okay. So there are 3 machine operators A, B and C. Now these machine operators, they can produce some defective items. Okay. When the production is going on, okay, so there will be some defective items produced. Now A produces 1% of defective items, means what is the probability that A will produce defective items? 1% means 1 in 100. Okay. So probability of A producing the defective item, it is 1 by 100. Okay. So 1% is nothing but 1 in 100 cases. Whereas B and C produce 5% and 7% of defective items. A is on the job for 50% of time. Now these machines A, B and C, they are not operated for equal time. Okay. If they are operated for equal time, what is the probability of A is on the job? If they are operated for equal time, then it is 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3 for ABC. But they are not operating for all the same time. So A is on the job for 50% of time. So for how much time A is on the job means it is 50% of time. So probability of A on the time, okay, probability of A on the job, it is 1 by 2. Probability of B on the job, it is only for 30% of time. So it is 30 by 100. probability of C on the job, it is 20 by 100. Okay. Now a defective item is produced. We know that one defective item is produced. Now I don't know that it is produced by A, B or C. Okay. It can be produced by any one of A, B or C. Now we are interested in what is the probability that it was produced by A. So that first case we need. So what we can apply here again, Bayes theorem. Okay. So let us define, first we have to define three events here. Let E1 is the event that machine A is on job. Okay, machine A is on the job, that is the event E1. E2 is the event of machine B is on the job. Next E3, machine C is on the job. So these are the three events we take. So here, what is the probability of E1? Means what is the probability that machine A will be on the job? Machine A is on the job for 50% of time. Okay. So whatever the total time given, in that 50% of time machine A will be on job. So probability of A on the job, it is 50%, 50 by 100. Probability of B on the job is P of E2, which is 30% given, so 30 by 100. Probability of C on the job, it is given 20% of time, so 20 by 100. Okay. Next, we have to define the common event. What is the common event here? Producing a defective item. Okay. So notation A is already used. Okay, that is named machine A. So let's take some event. Let F is the event, and let us take X is the event. Let X is the event that defective item is produced. Okay, we are defining the common event X. What is that? Defective item is produced. Now what is the probability that defective item is produced by machine A? It is given machine A produces 1% of defective items. So here probability of defective items is produced by machine A. How can I write the notation? Probability of defective item is produced X, given which event is occurred here? Given machine A occurred. Okay. So if machine A is selected, what is the chance that it is producing defective item? So P of X given E1, it is given 1%. Next, probability of defective items is produced by machine B. So if I select machine B, what is the chance that it will produce the defective items? P of X, given that machine B is selected. So 5%, 5 by 100. Next, probability of defective item is produced by machine C. Notation P of X given E3. 7% are defective, so 7 by 100. So these are the notations. Now what we require? We require probability of defective item is produced. It is already happened. what is the probability that it was produced by A? Okay, so we need the probability that it was produced by A given that it is a defective item. Understand? So we need it was produced by A given that it is a defective item. It is P of what is already happened. Already we know that it is a defective item. So knowing that it is a defective item, what is the chance that it is produced by A? Means it is by machine A. So E1 given A we need. So how can it be of E1 given A? By using Bayes theorem. So by Bayes theorem, P of E1 given X denominator we write total probability, it may occur in E1. So P of E1 into P of X given E1, P of E2 into P of X given E2, or E3 into P of X given E3. So write all the cases in denominator, that is the total probability. Now we are interested in what? First case. So write the first case in numerator, P of E1 into P of X given E1. So let's substitute all this and simplify. P of E1 given X so denominator P of E1 it is 50 by 100 into P of X given E1, X given E1 it is 1 by 100 plus E2 is on the time 30% of time, so 30 by 100 into 5 by 100 plus 20 by 100 into 7 by 100. So these are the total cases. We need first case in numerator, so 50 by 100 into 1 by 100. Let us simplify it. Denominator 100 into 100, 100 into 100, it will get cancel. So numerator 50 into 1 divided by 50 plus 150 plus 140, right? So it is 50 by 200 plus 140, 340. So answer 5 by 34. The required answer 5 by 34. Understanding? So we are taking the three cases, machine A, machine B, machine C. Since they are not on the job for the same time, okay, if they are on the job for equal time, then we can take probabilities as 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3, but they are on the job for different times, so we take that probabilities differently. Now probability that A is produced by defective items, B produces defective item, C produces defective item, we know all these three. Now we are interested in defective item is produced, this is what already happened. Now what is the chance that it is produced by the machine A? So first case we need, okay. So by Bayes theorem we can solve this problem. Understand? Next. So all the information is given in the problem only, nothing we are deriving here. So just try to write the information given in the form of notation. Then clearly we have to understand which event has already occurred and which event probability we are finding. Once you know all the things clearly, then with one formula, that is using Bayes theorem, we can solve the problem easily. Let's see next question. A card from pack of 52 cards is lost. Now from the remaining cards of the pack, 2 cards are drawn and are found to be both diamonds. Now find the probability of the last card being a diamond. So there will be 52 cards we know. From that 52 cards, one card is being lost. Okay, so one card we lost from that 52 cards. Now how many are remaining? There are 51 cards remaining. Now we don't know that which one is lost. Okay, here we don't know that which card is lost. What we know is one card is lost, but we don't know which one it is. From the remaining 51 cards, we are drawing two cards. Now here how we are drawing the cards? When nothing is given means we will take both the cards are drawn together. If they are given with replacement, without replacement, then it is drawing successively one after the other. When nothing is mentioned means we will take that both the cards are drawn together simultaneously and are found to be both diamonds. So from the remaining 51 cards, I am taking two cards at a time. What we know is these two cards are diamond cards. Okay, both the cards are diamond cards. Now find the probability of the last card being a diamond. Okay, so if the last card, whatever the one card we lost, if it is a diamond card, what is the probability that getting both are diamonds? Okay, so here there is importance to that last card. Now what can be that last card? Now last card is nothing but selecting one card and throwing away and saying that we lost the card, right? So here what we are interested is select a one card and throw it away. Now what can be that one card we are selecting? That one card lost, maybe it is a diamond card or maybe it is not a diamond card. Okay, so last card is diamond card. This is one case, last card is diamond. Next another case is last card is not a diamond. So these are the two cases first you have to consider. Okay, the last card maybe it is a diamond card or maybe it is not a diamond card. So whether it is a diamond card is lost or not a diamond card is lost. Now what we are doing? From the remaining 51 cards, now what we are doing? We are drawing two cards at a time. Now two cards are drawn. Here also we are drawing two cards. Now see, two cards are drawn and are found to be both are diamonds. So already we know that whatever the two cards we have drawn, both are diamonds. This is diamond, this is diamond. So here also we are getting both the cards are diamond cards. Now in these two cases, what we are interested, find the probability that last card being a diamond. If the last card is a diamond, now what is the chance that we are getting both are diamonds? Understand? So here the probability of getting both as diamonds in these two cases, is it same? Observe. Probability of getting both the cards as diamonds in the two cases, even though we have 51 cards in both the cases, but probability of getting two diamond cards, is it same in this case and this case? They are different. If the last card is diamond, in this 51 cards, how many diamonds are there? We know that there will be 13 diamond cards in 52. So in 52, one diamond card is lost. So it is remaining 12 diamond cards and remaining 39 not diamond cards. Understand? There are 12 diamond cards and 39 are non-diamond cards. In that selecting two, we are drawing two cards. So probability of selecting two diamond cards, it is 12C3 divided by total 12C2 divided by 51C2. So this is getting two diamond cards. If the last card is not a diamond, so in this 51 cards, there are still 13 diamond cards and 38 not diamond cards. Understand? So here 13 diamond cards are there. We are selecting two, but here we have 12 diamond cards. We are selecting two. So this probabilities are different. Okay, probability of getting both the diamond cards are different in these two cases. Understand? So if you know that we are getting both are diamond cards, it can happen in these two cases. Now we are interested in the first case. So here also again we are applying Bayes theorem, reverse probability of occurrence we are finding here. Okay. So first you have to define the two events E1, E2. The last card is diamond, last card is not a diamond card. So let E1 is the event of last card is a diamond. Next E2 is the event of last card is not a diamond. Understand? So what is the probabilities of these two events E1, E2? What is P of E1? Last card is diamond. From 52 cards we are selecting one card and we are throwing away and we are saying that it is lost. So what is the probability? Total there are 52 cards. In that how many are diamonds? We are selecting one. So it is 13 by 52 which is 1 by 4. And what is P of E2? Last card is not a diamond card. What is the chance that it is not a diamond? There are 52 cards. In that how many are non-diamonds? Remaining 39 are non-diamonds. Okay, 13 are diamond cards, remaining 39 are non-diamond cards. That is 3 by 4. So probability of E1 we know, probability of E2 we know. Now we have to define the common events. Let A is the common event that which is already happened, drawing the two diamond cards. Okay, A is a common event, that is drawing two diamond cards. Now when we are drawing these two diamond cards, after one card is lost. So from 51 cards only we are drawing this two diamond cards. So here if last card is diamond card, then there are so many cards are remaining. If the last card is diamond card, so 12 diamond cards are remaining and 39 non-diamond cards are there. Okay, so D indicates diamond card, non-D indicates non-diamond card. So there are 51 cards remaining. Right. Now what is the probability of drawing both as diamond cards in this first case? So probability of getting both as diamond cards if last card is a diamond card. What is the notation I can write here? Probability that getting both the cards as diamond cards if last card is a diamond. If I know that last card is diamond, so knowing that last card is diamond means it is already happened. What is the chance of getting both as diamond cards? So this is a notation we can write here. It is P of A given that first event has occurred. Okay, knowing that last card is diamond, what is the probability of getting both as diamond cards? How many are total now? 51 are there. In that we are selecting two cards. Okay, so from the remaining cards, two cards are drawn. Whenever nothing is mentioned means we assume that both the cards are taken at a time. So what is the total chance of selecting two cards out of 51? It is 51 C2. In that how many are in favor now? Getting both as diamonds. How many are diamonds? Only 12 are diamonds because one diamond card is already lost. So remaining there are 12 diamond cards. In that we are selecting 2. So it is 12 C2 divided by 51 C2. Next, if last card is non-diamond, then there remains, then there are, suppose if the last card is not a diamond card, so in that 51 cards, if the last card is not diamond means how many diamond cards are there? 13 diamond cards are there, but one non-diamond card is lost, so there are 38 non-diamond cards remaining. Okay, so total 51 cards are remaining. Understanding? So in this second case, what is the probability of getting both as diamond cards? So probability of getting both the cards drawn as diamonds cards if last card is non-diamond card, it is P of A. We are interested in getting both as diamond cards, given that if the last card is not a diamond, so P of A given, E2 we require. So how can I write it here also? Total there are 51 cards, in that we are selecting 2, so it is 51 C2. Now how many are in favor to getting both as diamond cards? How many diamond cards are there? 13 are there, in that we are selecting 2, so it is 13 C2. Understand the difference? Here last card is diamond, there remains 12 cards, in that we are selecting 2. Last card is not a diamond, so there remains 13 diamond cards, in that we are selecting 2. So 13 C2 by 51 C2. So these are the notations. Now what we require? We require so 2 cards are drawn and are found to be both are diamond cards. This is what already happened. Now find the probability of last card being a diamond. Last card being a diamond. So we are interested in E1 given that both the cards are diamonds. Okay. So probability of last card is diamond given that both cards are diamond cards, that is P of, we are interested in finding the last card being a diamond, so that is E1 given that both the cards are diamonds. So we have to find P of E1 given here. Okay, we require P of E1 given here. So by Bayes theorem we can find this. How can I write P of E1 given A? First we write total probability. It can occur in E1, A given E1, or it can occur in E2, P of E2 into P of A given E2. What are these two cases? Which case we need? First case. So write it in numerator, P of E1 into P of A given E1. So substitute this. P of E1 is 1 by 4 into P of A given E1, 12 C2 divided by 51 C2 plus 3 by 4 into 13 C2 divided by 51 C2. So we require first case numerator 1 by 4 into 12 C2 divided by 51 C2. So let us simplify it. No need to expand all. Observe denominator 4 into 51 C2, 4 into 51 C2. LCM is 4 into 51 C2. So the term will get cancelled in numerator and denominator. So remaining 12 C2 divided by 12 C2 plus 3 into 13 C2. 12 C2 divided by 12 C2 plus 3 into 13 C2. Okay. Now we have to expand and simplify it. We can do that. Note down. So P of E1 given A. What is 12C2? I can write 12 into 11 divided by 2 factorial. I can write 12C2, we can write 12 into 11 by 2 factorial. So 12 into 11 by 2 factorial plus 3 into 13C2, I can write 13 into 12 by 2 factorial. So 2 factorial will get cancelled. 12 into 11 divided by 12 into 11 plus 3 into 13 into 12. 2 factorial will get cancelled, numerator denominator. Now 12 common in numerator and denominator. 12 is common. 11 plus 12 common means 13 into 3, 39. So 12 cancelled. It is 11 by 50. So required answer is 11 by 50. Understanding? Right. So these are the problems based on Bayes theorem. So try to go through all the remaining problems in the exercise and also the example problems. Okay. So these problems are easier. Only thing is you just have to think. Okay. So we cannot solve the problem directly without observing and without understanding. So calculations are very less here. Okay. Not many calculations. So spend more time on understanding the problem. Okay. What is given? What is the notation we are going to use? So if you know that clearly, solving the problems on Bayes theorem is very easy. Okay. So try to understand, try to think and get the idea that what is given and what you have to find. Okay. So this is the problems based on Bayes theorem. So with this, as per the reduced syllabus, we will complete the chapter probability. And any doubts you are having, please post in the group. Okay. Thank you.